No one can stop this mission. Least of all, a woman.
You obviously have little regard for womanhood. You must learn respect.
I prefer not to soil my hands on female flesh. But if you insist...
How about that punch there? Man, that takes us back. That's Linda Carter when she was on ABC as Wonder Woman, and then the setting was the 1940s, and then CBS picks it up for a couple of seasons. They moved to the 70s. All right. And people know this. They're into the character. And we have our own Wonder Woman aficionado with us, Dallas Howell. Dallas, good to see you here. And you've been following Wonder Woman since those days back in the 70s. And we're going to get your take on everything happening now as we see the memorabilia. Some of this stuff is in your house. Let's start with the news item here, and people are weighing in on it. Let me read a couple of tweets before we get your take on Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman. And not everyone is a fan of this choice. Let me read a couple of them to you. Here's one. This makes no sense. She's supposed to be buff. Gal Gadot to star as Wonder Woman in Batman vs. Superman. So not a fan there. Here's another one with the hashtag Gal Gadot has to work out. Comes to us from Charles. No hate, but Wonder Woman ain't no toothpick. So there's some folks that disagree. Your thoughts when you heard about Gal Gadot?
Well, I didn't know who she was, and so I looked her up, and she's a beautiful woman. So, you know, she's set for that. But what man ever gets cast as Superman or Batman or Spider-Man and thinks that they're just going to sit around and not work out? She's going to work out. She's not going to just be eating celery and doing yoga. She's going to hit the gym. So she's a thin woman, but, you know, a good 5 or 10 pounds of muscle on her and a biscuit or two, and she's going to be fine.
And then she's going to live out more some of these depictions we're seeing here. But we had our own Wonder Woman, our producer, Hannah, and we got to get your take. You're the aficionado here. How did Hannah do? And we're going to show you the spin here that our own Hannah did. Because some people say maybe Hannah should play the role. So there's Hannah on the left, Wonder Woman on the right. Dallas, talk to me. How'd she do?
There is no bad Wonder Woman. Any person who decides to dress up as Wonder Woman has my vote. But even if I was being critical, she did a fantastic job.
There you go. Okay, Hannah, well done. Again, you're probably still getting right in votes. Let's talk about your love and your obsession, so to speak, with Wonder Woman. Did it start in the 70s, back in that show we showed a clip of?
What is this? You think this is obsessive?
No,
what are we talking about? This is just what I had on the dashboard of my car. Yeah. So, I grew up in the 70s, and I had a mother who was a single mother for a time. And I think seeing this woman who was the first feminist icon superhero appear on the screen, and she took care of business. She wasn't anybody's sidekick. She was tough, but she was nice. She felt like she could be your friend. I think a lot of girls and boys of that time looked up to her and said, you know what, this is the future. This is what our mothers are doing. This is she was ahead of her time.
I love that take. It's almost an homage to your mom in a sense, and that's great. Here's some shots again in your house. So again, and I love that your heart on this is your own mom. But as time goes on, then you become a collector. And when did that really, when again, some of the items we're seeing here in your home and also on the desk here, when did you start collecting?
Well, there was a few items that came out in the 60s and 70s that I wasn't aware of. But in the 90s, they came out with like one of the first action figures. And also eBay came along in the 90s, and you could find some of the older things that were for sale. So it started out as like, oh, cute, an action figure, I'll buy that. And then I turn around and I'm like in a red, white, and blue star-spangled tsunami. So I decided, okay, I'll contain it to one room, but that one room is pretty fabulous. It's pretty wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome there. Okay, so moving forward here, my guess is that Wonder Woman in this upcoming Batman vs. Superman movie is playing a sidekick. My guess is you think she should have her own movie.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even the theme song to the TV show that's so popular says, all the world's waiting for you to get your own movie. Having her shoehorned into two dudes' movies that they both had like 7 movies each, and she's never had a movie. I mean, come on. Hollywood, that's sexist. Wonder Woman is an icon for 72 years.
Sell it.
72 years.
Sell it,
Wonder
Dallas.
Woman has been in continuous print and in the social zeitgeist of America. She's an icon around the world. Yes. And she should have her own movie and not be shoehorned into Batman vs. Superman.
With passion. That was like a political speech. I love it.
Hey, I'll take it.
And because there's been some other female heroes that have had their own movies. I think, Shannon, let's take a look. We had Elektra, Catwoman, right?
Right. And, a lot of people want to jump on the actresses who played in these roles that weren't very successful movies, but the problem was they moved too far away from the source material. Hollywood always thinks it's got a better idea of how to do these superheroes, and when you've got decades worth of source material to pull from, chances are maybe you should just not mess with it too much and bring this is why why Marvel movies are so popular. Iron Man is just like Iron Man.
You stick
Thor
to the script,
is
right?
just like Thor.
Pretty much.
Stick to the script. You can tweak them things, but hey, look, everybody loves Wonder Woman.
Nice
Keep
job.
your Wonder Woman.
Dallas, assistant art director here at HLN, but Wonder Woman aficionado by night. Well done, my friend. Again, and it's really interesting. We've run out of clock here, but just to see the different iterations of Wonder Woman, all the way to the one that's closest to me here with the dragon. I mean, that's bodybuilder, fake boob Wonder Woman. Really interesting, and that's the most modern shot.
There's nothing fake about Wonder Woman.
Of course, you're right. I'm sorry. Dallas Howell joining us. Really appreciate it. All right, you're going to appreciate this next story coming up. Precious cargo, and a hero, by the way, in the midst of this, plucked off the interstate. Check this out.
And on that day, the teddy bear needed saving.
Yes, a cop stops in the middle of traffic to save the little girl's most prized possession. You're going to hear from the little girl and also from the cop who pulled over. I'm going to interview him live coming up.